Hey, what's up everybody? My name is Zelkenon. This is another Smite Super Builds, and today's episode will be a tank Hades has a request. So I did a mage Hades build not too long ago, and also might as well do a tank Hades. And here we go in celebration of his new default skin. He looks pretty awesome with his new default skin. Works really well with him. So let's go with the items quickly. So actives, if you're playing Conquest, the two actives you want to have are Eye of Providence and Hand of Gods. If you're not doing Conquest, then the actives, I'll definitely refer these two items here. Greater Blink, this allows you to initiate and start ulting without having to use your 1. So if your 1 is down, or you want to save your 1 for more of an escape purposes, Greater Blink works really well. Only a 45-second cooldown. After you blink, you get a 40% movement speed increase to make your kind of final arrangements with that. And to kind of complement that, once you blink in, if they're trying to like run away from you, a Feebling Curse works really well. So after you blink, go ahead and Feebling Curse, and that way they're slowed by 40%. And that way you can kind of choose and herd them to one area and use your ulti. And also their attack speed is reduced by 30%, so that way the ADCs or the assassins won't really burn you down too quickly. Then boots. Reinforce Greaves for that really great movement speed increase when out of combat. Great passive with the CC reduction, and overall this is something you want to get if you're going to go with tank Hades. Next, Hide of the Urchins. Get this as your second item, that way you can start working on that passive stacks right away. With the full 10 stacks, you will have 65 magical and physical protection. That's a lot, and 250 health and 250 mana. Which you really do need a health. Hades has the lowest HP scaling as far as the Guardians. He gets like I think 80 health per level, which is just extremely low for Guardians. So he's going to need a lot of health with the build. So we'll definitely have that. Third item, Void Stone. To work on our magical protection. By basic scaling, we have higher physical protection than our magical protection scaling, so we definitely want to work on magical protection as your third item right away. And Void Stone is probably the best one for that, mainly because of the Aura. It works really well with your ulti. So once they're in your ulti, their magical protections will be reduced by 55. So you would do more damage yourself, and also anybody that's doing damage with you in your ulti, for the mages anyway, they're going to do more damage. And also grants you a little bit more power, so your ulti hits a little bit harder. So Void Stone, a really great item for the tank Hades. Next, Sovereignty, because we definitely need more health. 400 HP, 65 physical protection. And then the Aura, of course, is really great for helping your allies, giving them more protections. So that works really well. Bulwark of Hope, still working on the HP factor. 450 health, 60 magical protection, and a pretty great passive. It only does last for 1 second, but that 1 second can save your life. Next on, Ethereal Staff for to cap off on our HP, and magical power also gets boosted up quite a bit with our passive. Since we have quite a few health items, we get quite a good amount of magical power. We have 147 magical power, 257 physical protection, and 268 magical protection. Of course, this is if you're fighting a balanced team. If you're fighting a more magical, obviously build more magical defense. If you're building against more physical, then there you go. So in those cases, if you're fighting more of a magical, I'll go ahead and recommend Stone of Gaia. I would definitely get Stone of Gaia as probably my very first item in Assault. So if you get Hades in Assault, I'll go ahead and pick up Stone of Gaia first. Of course, that's if you're fighting a good amount of magical gods. That way you have really good sustain with the HP 5 and MP 5 and the passive. Also, it grants you 100 health a little bit, but mainly for that plus 70 magical protection since you're fighting a lot of magical gods. So this is my recommended item if you're fighting a lot of magical people in Assault as Hades. If you're fighting against a lot of physical, I'll probably go ahead and pick up Mystical Mark, which I believe it's under Iron Mail and branches up to its Mystical Mail now. It's no more. It's not a Mystical Mark, sorry. Mystical Mail. This grants you quite a bit of protections, health, and the aura is really great. This aura does pretty good damage at the beginning stages of a match. So when you pull them in with your ulti, not only will your ulti be doing damage over time, you will have this aura doing magical damage over time as well. So your ulti is going to hit decently hard while at the same time being pretty tanky. So those are my two items I recommend in Assault if you're fighting a more heavy of that certain class. So that is that. So as you see, our health bar looks pretty nice, 3,800 health. If you may think our protection is a little low, keep in mind with our ulti we'll be getting a lot of protections, plus 80 protections for both. So we actually hit a cap on our magical and maybe physical actually. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of damage testing just to kind of see how we are. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. But this is not a damage build, so let's go ahead and see how tanky we really are. Go ahead and tank some Gold Fury. I see, not really scratching us at all. Let's move on to Fire Giant. Hello, Mr. Fire Giant. 55, 55, 87. Of course, ideally when you do Fire Giant Conquest, you know, you have your entire team there. You get, you know, your healer on you and of course DPS and Fire Giant, but this gives you a rough idea on how tanky this build is. Let's go ahead and move on with our lives. Bye, Fire Giant. Bye. Bye. Alright. Let's move on to Ra. Kind of blink. Get over there quickly. Okay, so 109 with his ulti. 517. Let's go ahead and use our ulti so you can get a rough estimate. Pretty nice. Immortal. Alright. So that pretty much wraps up for this video. Kind of short, but it is a tanky build, so not too much to demonstrate. I hope this helps you guys out for building the tank Hades, and I'll see you guys soon in the next video. And also, if you want any certain builds for any gods or anything, just let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.